What's going on, guys? Infinite from Technically Adequate here. I'm just going to show you my settings really quick. The settings that I actually use for EVGA's Precision X OC application. So the way my settings are in this is it doesn't really have an overclock in it. Well, I guess it technically is some sort of a overclock. It's more of a modification that I made just to the settings in here. And what these settings do, it helps prevent the card from throttling down while you're using it. So with GPU Boost 3.0, once it reaches a certain clock and a certain temperature, the card starts to overheat. So what these settings do, it helps prevent the card, well, not from overheating. The card heats up obviously as you use it, and it gets, you know, higher in the boost clock and everything. So what these settings do, it helps the card maintain that boost clock. That way it doesn't throttle down once the card gets too hot, because that's what GPU Boost 3.0 does. The card will get to a certain temperature, so it'll boost up till it hits a certain temperature, and then once it hits that certain temperature, it'll throttle down to keep the card within those temps. So what these settings do that I have here, it helps the card stay at that constant boost, and it helps keep the card a little bit cooler as well. You get a little bit more just power out of your card without actually touching the GPU clock and the memory clock, which some people don't want to do. It's totally understandable. So as you can see here, I have the voltage meter. I have that all the way maxed out, and what that's going to do is give your car the max voltage it can have. That way, it can still maintain that high power and get the most the most it can out of GPU boost, as well as the power target limiter. I have that set it to 120%. That way, it obviously is getting as most power as it can. And then the temp target. So originally, when you start it, when you have the default settings on, it'll switch this to this will be on the power target, the priority. You want to switch that to go down and be switch that so it shows your temperature. And as you adjust your power target temp to the max, your temp target's going to go up as well. So you want to switch your priority, that way it's at your temperature. So what this means is, as your card's boosting, the application is going to know that you don't want your card to go past a certain temperature, so it's going to ramp up the fans. If you leave it on automatic, it's going to ramp up the fans. That way, your card doesn't reach these certain temperatures. So as you can see right now, even when I'm just at my screen, my card's GPU clock is at 1607, and then the megahertz, and then the memory clock's at 4006 megahertz. Which are pretty good numbers, and that's just the normal numbers. And I'm happy with that. So this is my card. You see your card here. So whether you have a 1060, 1070, 1080, whatever you have, you'll see that type of graphics card here. If you scroll over here, this is your GPU boost. I don't use this at all. Some people use it. I don't use it. And this is just more settings, more just readings in your card. So now what I have as well is I have a custom fan curve on mine, which keeps my card fairly cool. So when it's boosting up, the max temps I usually get are anywhere from 58 to 60 degrees Celsius. I think a couple times I hit 61 and 62, and that's at max load using the Heaven benchmark, which I'm going to show you guys here in a second. So for my fan curve, what I have here is this right here. So it's a fairly aggressive fan curve. So as the card is right now, you can see the fans are spinning at just shy of 1700 RPM. And that's just idling. Usually with the default settings, the fans don't spin at all until it hits a certain temperature. So you can see my fan speed here at the lower temperatures. And then as the temperatures go up, obviously the fan speeds go up. So once it hits 80 degrees, which is or once it hits 70 degrees, I should say, about 60 degrees, going up to 80 degrees, that's when the fans start to ramp up pretty high. And usually when I'm playing, the card stays within this temperature range right in here. Never usually goes above here, and I've never seen my card go up to 70 degrees. It usually stays right here at about 60. So the fan speed's somewhere about 75 to 80% when I'm playing. So my system does get a little loud. It doesn't bug me too much just because I have a headset on. But it depends how. If the noise doesn't bug you, then obviously you can ramp this up more, or you can make it a little bit more aggressive than what I have here. But I would say this one's fairly aggressive. Alright, so we're going to exit out of here now. And then if you want to save your profiles, obviously you can save them down here. So if you want a default profile and this type of profile. So right now, what I'm going to show you guys is the Heaven benchmark. That way you guys can see some of the readings that I get. These are the settings. So we're running the DirectX 11 and quality is ultra. I don't put on any tessellation or anti-aliasing because I usually don't play with any of these kind of after post-processing effects. So I don't usually play with any anti-aliasing in any of the games I play on. We're just going to show you guys a quick little readings of what I get here from the card. And you're going to see two different things, which I still haven't figured out yet, which kind of throws me off. So as you can see here, the EVGA Precision XOC is showing my numbers with a GPU. This is not, mind you, I have not touched the offsets or the memory clocks. This is just what my card boosts to automatically. So my card boosts to 2000 megahertz, and then the memory clock goes up to 4007 megahertz, which is fairly good. And as you can see, as the card starts to get up in temperature, those clocks went down a little bit, which is normal. But what I don't understand here is that when I go over to the Heaven benchmark numbers here, it says my graphics is still at 2012 megahertz, and then, or excuse me, this is the GPU clock. The base, or yeah, this is the GPU boost clock up here, which is 2012 megahertz, and the memory is at 4004 megahertz. And then this reads 4007. So I'm not sure which one to go off of here. My guess would be it's probably falling between these two numbers if I had to make my best guess. And then as you can see, if we alt tab out to here and we go to Precision X, it's reading what this is saying here. So I'd probably go off of what this says more than anything, but who knows? I mean, this software could be wrong as well. But so those are just some quick little tips that you can do with your EVGA cards. And, you know, whatever. This is the XOC software that you can use. But those are just some little tips that you can do to get the most out of your card without actually touching the offset and the offset for the memory and the offset for the actual GPU clock speed. All right, guys. Hope you enjoy the video Infinite out.